In 2008, there was a plan to do more than one Stargate movie. And one of those movies was going to be a Stargate Atlantis movie. Here's everything we know about what that would have been. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So the idea was that straight after episode 20 of season 5 Stargate Atlantis, they were going to film this 2-hour movie. The plan being that it would be a film straight to DVD if they don't get a season 6, or if they did get a season 6, it would go straight into the two-parter that would open that season. Now, when it was decided not to go ahead with season 6, the plan was still then to go with this movie, this straight to DVD film. Now, we'd already got Continuum, and there were plans for another Stargate SG-1 movie. This would have been done in tandem with that. But what would have happened in the movie? Well, thanks to Gateworld and Joseph Malotzi's blog, we kind of know a fair bit about what was planned. So the episode would have started on the moon, where Atlantis was now. Yes, Atlantis has become Homeworld Command, a moon base. The episode would have started with a sweeping shot of 2 astronauts on the moon, and then it would have expanded out to show us the Atlantis, hopefully with the Earth in the background. There'd have been 2 astronauts in the foreground, Amelia Banks and Major Lorne, it would have turned out. And then we'd have seen a shuttlecraft come over the top, heading over to Atlantis. Aboard that spaceship, Samantha Carter and several other dignitaries. They'd have gone into Atlantis and showing them round, and they'd have met none other than Rodney McKay, who was not overly excited about seeing all these dignitaries. During the meeting and those interactions, suddenly an alarm would have gone off. McKay would have run off to see what it is, Samantha not far behind. And when he got to the computer banks, he realized it's a self-destruct. Now, apparently, this is a failsafe put in by the Atlanteans, that if ever Atlantis were to leave the Pegasus galaxy for any length of time, the self-destruct would engage, and the Atlantis would be destroyed. They tried to deactivate the self-destruct, but in vain. They realized that the only thing they can do is get back to Pegasus as quickly as possible. And in the immortal words of Cam Mitchell, it's time to get the band back together. We'd have then seen a bit of a montage shot with all the different characters and where they were. Shepard with family. Actually, Ronan would have been in a fight because he'd had some sort of accident and he got a scar on his face. So they were going to write that in, where we see Ronan basically having a bar fight and getting injured. But we'd have seen John Shepard going to Area 51 or another secure location to go and get Todd. So, why would they go and get the Wraith? He was actually imprisoned on the Atlantis when it returned back to Earth. So, he has been having a few little experiments done on him with the, scientists. But Zelenka, McKay, and everyone else realized that the only way to get back to Pegasus quickly enough is for them to use the wormhole drive that they used to get to Earth in the first place. Now, at the end of season 5 of Stargate Atlantis, Sam Carter actually did say that the wormhole drive was burned out, but apparently it's been repaired. And there were plans actually to use the wormhole drive in Stargate Universe initially. That's how they were going to get out to the Destiny until they decided to go with the, planet blowing up thing instead. So they realized they need Todd to help them, as he'd helped them previously in other episodes, because even though he's a bit of a space vampire, he's also a bit clever. So we see Shepard going in to get him. We see some commanding officer saying, "You can't do this." And Shepard saying, "I've got the fall backing of O'Neill, damn it." And getting Todd and then going to the Atlantis. So the Atlantis launches. It engages the wormhole drive. Zelenka does his computations with Todd supporting, and they shoot off. But they fail. The wormhole drive doesn't get them the whole way, and they find themselves in a galaxy between here and Pegasus. They see a planet nearby, so they try and get to the planet to get the resources they need to repair the Atlantis. Now, this is where we start getting a bit of a time travel story. And I can't help but notice this is the storyline for the Matt LeBlanc Lost in Space movie a few years ago. But I'm sure Joseph Malozzi and Paul Mully, who wrote this episode, would have done something a little bit different with it. But basically, they were going to find their descendants on the planet. So, for some reason, there was a timey-wimey problem, and they basically meet their future selves. If you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all of those YouTubey things. But also, go over onto patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos do actually premiere first. If you are desperate to see them before anyone else, go check it out. The future Todd is also there. He's basically taken over this planet, and he tells the crew of the Atlantis that if they take him back to the Atlantis, he knows how to make the repairs and potentially get them back to Pegasus quickly enough. He's been thinking about it for years, and he's already got a head start. Christopher Herondale is just one of those actors. It just has this insane voice that is just very, very powerful. And he's a brilliant actor in everything he's ever done. But as Todd, he was particularly brilliant. So we're going to see our Todd, current age Todd, and an older Todd. It turns out, obviously, the older Todd is not everything he seems and has plans to take over the Atlantis and maybe even, do some other naughtiness. The episode or movie would have basically ended with the old age Todd triggering his plan and being revealed and about to kill Rodney McKay when young Todd throws himself in between or does something else and stops old Todd from winning and basically saves the day. So that would have been a really, really interesting little twist. And yeah, I quite like it. So the episode would have ended with Shepard basically showing a grudging respect to Todd and releasing him after feeding him, apparently, but I'm not quite sure how that is going to work. But Todd getting released back into the wild. Apparently, we would have also seen a few other new surprises. There'd have been a new character, a scientist called Kara, that we would have seen arguing with Rodney McKay very early on in the episode and hopefully throughout the episode as well. And according to Joseph Malozzi as well, they were going to revisit something else that fans, I think, would have loved to have seen. Because very early on, the plan was in Stargate Atlantis that John Shepard and Taylor were going to have this sort of unrequited love story, something that would have mirrored Sam and Jack. That was something that apparently was going to be revisited in the movie. And I think that would have been kind of cool. I was kind of hoping Taylor was going to end up with Ronan, if I'm honest. But I like the idea of Shepard and Taylor getting together. Their relationship was very, very close, but it had become something more like brother and sister over the 5 years of Stargate Atlantis. It would have been interesting to see how that would have turned into something else. So, what do I think about this Stargate Extinction movie plan? Now, okay, the time travel bit is a bit cliche. It's been done, but I do trust Joseph Malozzi here and Paul Mully to have done something a bit different with it. And at the end of the day, it would have been Stargate Atlantis with a bunch of characters we adore. It would have been interesting to see what they'd have done with the special effects, etc. And I do like the idea of them using the wormhole drive to shoot back to Pegasus. But it was never to be. And this is never really going to happen now. I would love to see this in other forms, comic books, a novel maybe, or something like that. It's a shame this storyline will never see the light of day. But with Stargate coming back, is this something that could be revisited? The Atlantis is maybe on the moon, maybe still on Earth somewhere. Maybe a bunch of engineers are stripping it down for all its secrets. Or maybe it is Homeworld Command up on the moon, just as planned by Malozzi. I actually think that's a brilliant idea, and I'm hoping anybody over Amazon is watching because that's what they should be doing. And it'd be a great way to bring the Atlantis back into the Stargate universe. So, guys, get into the comments and tell me what you think about this plan. Obviously, if you are a big Stargate fan, you probably know all about this already. Gateworld have done a brilliant article. I've put a link in the description where you can see the whole process going through with all of the different comments from Joseph Malozzi on his blog and how we got from the 2008 green light to the 2011 cancellation when we found out we weren't going to be getting any Stargate movies at all. And Stargate really did die until very soon, when Stargate will be returning. Get in the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos do premiere first and you get to see them without the adverts, you lucky bunnies. As always, please stay safe and I'll see you next time. Or maybe it is Homeworld Command, just like Joseph Malozzi envisaged. Or maybe it is Homeworld Command up on the moon, just like Malozzi envisaged.